Are you an aesthetic nurse practitioner or physician assistant looking for an opportunity? Well, give me a call now. I got opportunities nationwide. Call me now. Call me now. An aesthetic injector is defined as a licensed provider that can inject neurotoxins, derma filler, and various injectables into the body and face. Registered nurses, nurse practitioners, physician assistants, medical doctors, and dentists can inject. Check your state laws on rules and regulations on what license you must have to inject in your state. Hi, my name is Jonathan Mclean. I'm a founder and CEO of Mclean Aesthetic. I work with CEOs nationwide to connect them with top aesthetic injectors such as nurse practitioners, physician assistants, and medical doctors. Let's go. South Florida has been the testing market for the aesthetic industry. Check out these top 2 companies in the South Florida market that are going to the next level.
The women are thinking.
And then you got the shark. You know, he's obviously money, money, money. I mean, he even said, let them make some cash while they're on their way to die, basically.
It's so rare that you can get an opportunity to take $500,000 and turn it into $3 million in 18 months. They have found the fountain of youth for cash flow.
Still get a good payday at the end if you do the franchise route and might live longer.
Deniz doesn't want to do this again.
Yes, he does.
He said he didn't want to do that anymore.
Don't worry
That he
about it,
wants
I'll
quality
fix it.
of life at this point. I mean, there is a value in quality of life.
Yeah, more cash, better quality.
Well, what about the fact that Carlton and his wife may be the next money court case?
He doesn't care what she wants on this one. He only considers what she wants when it's just aligned with what he wants.
You notice his wife wasn't there listening to that. I don't know if he's saying that to his wife
But
if
you know,
she's present.
you can have a life plan. Let's be fair about it. If their life plan is they want to sell this business, they have to optimize cash flow in the next 3 years. If I was an investor in them right now, I'd sit down with those 2 guys and say, look, we're at the crossroads here. And if I want to ask myself, in 36 months, 3 years, you want to sell this business? There's only one answer. Okay, I've made my decision. Let's bring them back.
Now let's hear from the co-founder of Forever Young Anti-Aging, Carlton Washington. All right, Carlton, so I want to dive deep into it and I want to go right from the beginning. What made you want to get into this industry?
Good question. Answer this question all the time. My background prior to this was in business, in banking, insurance, and real estate. I moved here reluctantly for a job promotion with my wife back in 2014. And so when I came down here, I was honestly just really depressed, very depressed that I had to take a job just to get back down here with my family that I didn't want to take. I was in a corporate environment, had a really horrible leader, very, really bad manager that I think that was God's gift to me because every day I was waking up depressed, really just sad to do anything. And personally, I've been a patient doing hormone replacement services prior to this, and just kind of came to a point where I was like, hey, I'd rather be sad giving something my all, you know, doing something that, you know, makes people's lives better, and just give it a try. And so that's when I contacted my business partner, Deniz, who at the time, I think a lot of people assumed that we were like best friends or known each other for years. We had just met. Deniz was in the fitness industry and was helping me get into shape. Because down here I didn't really know that many people, and I figured, hey, might as well just spend my time with a hobby, and that hobby was, you know, doing a bodybuilding competition. So one day I just had enough at the office, and I was like, hey, Deniz, you know, let's meet at the Starbucks and talk. And it was about doing this concept, and we pretty much said yes on the spot, and we got going right from there. So that was in May of 2014 is when we incorporated. And we opened in August, like the first week of August of 2014. So it was like 1, 2, 3, back to back to back. We were just ready to go.
Nice. And that takes hustle and drive. Like the continuous to keep going and kind of go off a concept you don't even know. Yeah. You didn't even know him at the time, but you guys believed in each other. So that's pretty dope.
Yeah, I think we believed in each other, but you know, hustle, drive, we had more of that than we had anything else. We had next to no capital, but that was enough to sustain getting open. And I think to this day, consistently keeping that drive for the last 8 years is what's put us out where we are now. And so the one thing we weren't going to do was be outworked. And, you know, while people were going home at 5 o'clock, we were just trying to make, you know, $200 a week, you know, for the first, you know, few months we opened. we weren't making any more than that. We were just trying to make a paycheck. And so I think that really forces you to do things that other people wouldn't to be successful.
How are you guys today?
Great.
Doing great.
Great. Now, where are you guys originally from by chance?
I'm originally from Orlando, Florida.
Nice.
I'm all over the place. So I just moved from New York. I'm originally from New Jersey. I lived in Orlando as well too. So currently right now is home. Here is home.
Welcome to South Florida. It's amazing out here. The weather is beautiful.
Too hot.
Now, right now we're in your spa right now. And it looks amazing. I can't believe it. It looks really nice. Tell me a little bit about what you guys did before actually opening this spa, or what type of ventures you guys were in.
Sure, yeah. So my background is in engineering. That's what I went to school for at the University of Florida.
Yeah.
I got my bachelor's degree and soon found myself working in an engineering firm. I was there for about 4.5 years and realized that it just wasn't for me. I mean, I knew the whole time, but I finally was able to get out of that and start something that I really enjoyed, which was sales. So I got a sales job and I liked it much better. I mean, making your own schedule, the autonomy, the incentive to do well was all there. And that's kind of what grew my entrepreneurial spirit. And I knew I always wanted to start my own thing, my own brand, my own company. And my passion is aesthetics in this industry. And I've always wanted to work at a medical spa. So I was like, why not open my own? And through lots of research, found that there was a lack of market for men in the space. And so I basically, thought, let's create a med spa that caters to men. Originally, it wasn't going to be solely a men's medical spa. It was going to be just more marketing is going to be heavily geared towards them.
Yeah.
But throughout our time building this business, we're like, let's fucking do this. Sorry, excuse my language. Let's do this. Let's do this right. Let's create a really strong niche and create a space for men to feel comfortable. So that's kind of how I got to where I am today. I'll let him.
And my background is in exercise physiology, so the wellness aspect is nothing new to me. From the wellness aspect, I was a personal trainer. I was in bodybuilding. I'm a fitness model with Whilmena. So I really delved in deep into the wellness aspect. And then as far as the aesthetic side, I had horrible skin. I had horrible acne. Yeah. So literally an esthetician literally saved my life because my self-esteem was through the floor. And then once everything cleared up, I was like, all right, I'm the dove now. No more ugly ducking. And then like Brett said, we started this concept. It was originally going to be a medical spa and transitioned into a men's medical spa.
Nice. And I like what you both said, because like it's either two reasons. Like you're already in the industry you wanted to get in, or you have a personal connection and the reason why you want to be here. And those are both very important when starting your own business, especially in this industry, for sure. Mm-hmm. Are you guys friends, or how did you guys meet and kind of join that partnership?
Yeah, we are friends. We met through mutual friends. Yeah.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Is there any tips you can give to like building a great partnership? How did you know like it was gonna work out? Because
I guess it was a big risk.
Yeah, and honestly,
yeah. I mean, we had only known each other for a few months, so in retrospect, it maybe had been a big risk. Yeah. But honestly, it's been an incredible experience.
Yeah.
So I really can't like chime in and say, oh, like you have to have these fundamental things. Mm-hmm. For a partnership, but I think we just kind of knew, like we talked about it, we had the same vision and the same goals, and we never, since we've done this, we've seen eye to eye on most things, and it's really worked out well. In my opinion, I'll let him give his 2 cents too.
A lot of our friends are like, but you guys only known each other for a few months. How are you guys starting a business? And it's like you said, it was just something. I was like, all right, it's gonna work out. Well, either way, and we're very driven. We have the same mindset when it comes to work ethic. So. Maybe Brett a little harder than I did sometimes.
It's a Capricorn.
But yeah, it's trending very well for us.
That's good. Partnership is like almost like a marriage or like a best friendship or whatever. It's a long term and it's a lot of up and down. So
we often say we're stuck with each other for life.
Stuck with me.
Nice. So what made you guys like pick the aesthetic industry? I guess what type of research did you do in the beginning? Because I know the aesthetic industry is really taking off. Especially down here in South Florida, so it's such a good time to do it. How did you guys know?
I mean, you kind of said it right there. Like being in Florida, people tend to care more about how they look. It's a great market for that type of thing already. And like me personally, like the reason that this whole business idea came to mind was I was looking at before and afters of men specifically getting filler to transform their face and their aesthetic and to create more of harmony, masculinization, symmetry. And I mean, you can really transform the way someone looks. And like I'm all for making yourself feel better. And what it does is it gives these people confidence. And that's what I want to do is I want everyone that comes to our doors to let them walk out with more confidence at the end of the day.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that. So let's talk about a little bit about when you first started, right? So you opened the business, and a lot of people don't understand the med spa industry is so competitive, and there's so many things out there that are constantly changing. What are some adversity that you face, you and your partner face, opening the spa? The first 2 years almost.
Honestly, we probably faced every single kind of adversity you could think about. One, we were undercapitalized, severely undercapitalized. So we had to work with a very, very small budget. And little did we know, Deniz may have known better than me. I think it was the ignorance on my behalf that maybe helped us be blind to some things, that we're actually opening a business in the med spa plastic surgery capital of at least the country, if not the world. And so I think if we had looked at the daunting task of being competitive in that, maybe we wouldn't have done it, but just had to head down and just kind of just toil through it. But we were undercapitalized, undermarketed due to the fact that we were undercapitalized. Our location was not ideal. So anybody who's been to the first location of Forever Young knows that it's very hidden. You cannot find it. It's hidden away. The location itself is accessible, but you'll never find it unless you're purposely going there. So we have no walk-by traffic, no drive-by traffic. Again, my partner and I, no medical background. So you have people in the industry, ridiculing you, making fun of you, saying, why would you go to this place? What else? We opened up and had a frivolous lawsuit when we opened up. So a competitor out the gate at our grand opening, serving us with documentation saying that we're doing the same idea as they are, which is just ludicrous. So I mean, we started the business with chaos, with people hating, with people telling us that it couldn't be done. Plastic surgeons, saying, well, we shouldn't be in this industry, because they were used to having all this space for themselves. So, not to mention that, I don't necessarily look like everybody in the demographic in that place, and so you're overcoming those obstacles as well. On the aesthetic side, it was mainly women at the time doing aesthetic services. So again, 2 male partners in a predominantly woman, ran space. I think that was a hurdle as well. And not to mention that we really opened up with just a lot of passion, drive, some business acumen, but there's a whole system to be created and things that we didn't know along the road. And I think, it was like a Lego movie, you just build it in the air as it comes. And so there was a lot of adversity, but I think looking back, that's the best teacher. And so being that we came in undercapitalized, we had to figure things out on our own, and we didn't get handed anything. And so now we know, and we're able to internalize every best practice in the industry, because we learned from a very, very bad mistake usually along the way. And those mistakes cost a lot of money. And so it took us a while to dig out of those things. But once you learned a hard lesson, it kind of sticks with you. And so we were able to, as we grow and scale up, avoid a lot of the downfalls and hurdles and mistakes that a lot of people do when they get into this industry. And those things can take you out really quickly. I mean, this is not an industry for the faint of heart. It can be expensive, and depending on how you get into it, and you need to know what you're doing to cover that overhead.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
Did you feel as though that gave you a better understanding of the skin and kind of gave you a better understanding of what you're doing right now?
Absolutely. And it, like I said, it really came from that place that I felt, as a teenager, dealing with really, really difficult skin. It was like, it really took a toll on my self-esteem, and it was beyond my skin. It was, inside, it was affecting me. And so when I have clients coming to me, I want to know, what do you want to change? What is it that bothers you? And I want to hear, what those things are. And, very quickly you can see that it's coming from a deep place.
You guys specialize in men, which is, I feel like, the most neglected in kind of the aesthetic industry, right? Mm-hmm. I know it's very slowly growing, and I feel like it's going to trend towards that in the future. Mm-hmm. But tell me a little bit about kind of what was your idea behind that?
So pretty much, I would say we've we pick men because think of ourselves.
Yeah.
We both love the idea of aesthetics, the injectables, facials, just body overall looking good.
Yeah.
And we felt like there wasn't a place that we can go to. Like when I went to the esthetician to get my facial, all women, I felt a little bit uncomfortable at first, even when the first time I went to get injectables done. It was something for me that I wanted to feel better, and I felt a little bit uncomfortable pursuing it because the whole persona of like, oh, men going to do stuff like this is perceived as not masculine.
Yeah.
And it's not true. Who doesn't want to look good?
Yeah,
Everybody wants to look good.
No, I agree. There's
Yeah.
this huge like stigma and taboo that surrounds men using the space, and we want to eradicate that.
Being sisters, I think it just like we're super casual, we're laid back, so that's what we want our environment when people come. And our brand is kind of different because we're completely mobile, whereas like our office that we're sitting in right now, it's a Sprinter.
Super dope.
So like that our brand is we're mobile, but you know, we're kind of like a mobile salon. We'll pull into your driveway and kind of keeping with the trend of like right now, this generation wants everything in an hour or two. And now we have the ability to like pull up to your house or to your lunch break and give you your treatments, and then you're be on your way.
This guy right here. That's a lot. You sound like you faced a lot of things. How did you keep the motivation up and kind of like the I'm gonna keep going? Like, what was that?
We didn't have a choice. Zero choice. Burn the bridges. Or when this business was started, we literally didn't have a choice. Not to mention, you know, we were the face of the brand, so we're putting our likeness out there, putting our faces everywhere. That's a great deal of embarrassment, a great deal of pride when you're putting your face on something and you are your brand. And so, you know, not to mention, we have families, you know, we got kids. So I think that added pressure really, you know, put some fire under you. You know, we both had children, additional children after the business was created, right at times in which were probably the toughest times for the business. And I think looking back, those are blessings now because those kids will light a fire under your ass, and they lit a big one. And so people are out there, you know, some people that we're competing with, they're out there because they like material things. They want to like buy a purse or a Rolex or go on a vacation. I'm trying to feed these kids, you know, and keep a roof over our head. Neither one of us came from wealthy families, and quite opposite actually. And so there's no plan B like a lot of people have in Boca, Palm Beach area, you know. There's a lot of plan B, a lot of mommy, daddy money, a lot of investor money. We don't have any investor money. We don't have any mommy and daddy money. Everybody's working. Both of our spouses work. And again, that is what makes a difference, because when you have somebody that doesn't have to be successful, you know, going up against someone that has to be successful to make it to the next, you know, year or whatever in their life, I think that carries a lot of weight.
Yeah, no, I mean, that couldn't be said any more clearly. Like, that is exactly what it takes. Owner, what are some challenges that you faced? And someone that maybe want to come into this field, right? Because I speak to a lot of injectors that been in the industry for years, but there's kind of, you know, debating, hey, should I start my own? Should I keep working for somebody? What are some challenges that you can give them, or what are some things that you can tell them to look out for when doing it?
So, I mean, there's obviously like a million ways you can slice it. Any business, regardless, has startup costs. You know, your first year, one-time investments that you have to make. So you have to have some working capital up front, whether that's your own capital or whether you choose to partner with, you know, silent money. I personally believe it's better to have like fewer hands in the pot. So if you can get it up and going on your own, that's why I've chosen to kind of start humbly and just, you know, do the 2 one-room suites, because I can manage the budget of that.
I agree. How do you guys deal with, I guess, like different spots? There's so many spas in Fort Lauderdale and things like that. How do you guys diversify yourself? I know you guys are men only, but how do you guys get that, like,
I mean,
service?
that is the answer right there. I mean, really, that's the answer. I mean, everyone that comes in here, the men specifically, they're like, wow, I finally found a place that caters to me, so they feel like it's for them, and it is. That's why we created this. And not only that, but I mean, we have not to toot our own horn, but like I think we created a really beautiful space here, and we're really proud of what we've built here.
And even outside the space, I would say like even the team that we're still in the hiring process, but the people that want to bring on, we want it to be very inviting. We want it to be like a family type feel. Like even when we promote on social media, we want everybody who comes in who knows like, oh, it's Brett, oh, it's Pierre, it's Victoria, whoever's in the front desk.
Right. We just had a patient come in today, and Ryan was next to me, our PA, and he's like, "Oh wow, you look just like you do on Instagram." So he clearly found us through social media and saw Ryan in his videos, and that attracted him and brought him in here. And like that makes me feel great because they see what they're getting, they know the experience that they're going to receive before they walk through our doors, and that's what we've always wanted to do, and that's what was our vision from the very beginning. Anyways.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like when people know who they're dealing with, or they can come up here and say, "Hey, I want to speak to this person," it makes them feel comfortable to come back and enjoy that and know that experience is going to be great every time. Social media played in this industry. I know it's so crazy, right? Social media is one of the biggest things right now. How big is that for you?
Interesting. I mean, enough when we started, we weren't seeing anybody advertising on Facebook. We were experimenting with Facebook ads. They were trying to convince businesses that Facebook was a good advertising platform, and we're like, well, this is like the easiest and best one for us at the time. So we were way out with that and way out there with that for years. I don't think people really started jumping on that as heavy until maybe like 2017, late 2016, 2017 was when you really started seeing people jump in, and it's made a big impact. I think it can be positive, it can be negative. I mean, you have a lot of people that are painting facades of their business. So you have some people that, you have to guess, like they're painting a picture that everything's rosy and it's not, or you always got to look behind the cover of social media and see what's really going on. I think it's got some positives and it's got some negatives. Personally, we don't like to rely on just social media to build our business, which is another reason why that separates us from everyone else. Is you're seeing a lot of people, they're like, oh, I want to open a business. I'm going to build out this business, find me a spot, and I'm going to get on social media, I'm just going to start making posts. That doesn't work. And if you think that's how you're going to build your business, we'll holler at you in a year. That's not that. The same things that built a business 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 100 years ago are the same skills and things that people need to deploy to be successful today. And everyone, I shouldn't say everyone, but a lot of people have gotten very lazy and they just want to sit behind a desk and push a button and expect patients to come in. That does not work. Maybe if you're, the first Medspa to hit like Birmingham, Alabama or something like that, or wherever you are, but not in a mature market. That doesn't work, period.
Yeah.
So
I agree. It takes hustle.
Yeah.
It really does.
Marketing is everything, and you have to kind of know what areas of marketing is not going to pay off for you and what areas are going to. And so for me, I kind of stuck to my niches. Originally, like people would see my content, and I had some people who would ask me, like other big injectors who I do respect, and they're like, why don't you have any women in your ads? I was like, well, it's just like everyone in your city targets towards women. Everyone does. So if I put an ad out towards that, it'll just get lost. It's like throwing a shot glass in a bucket. If I put an ad out for men, I'm putting a shot glass into a glass. It sticks so much more. It doesn't mean I don't treat women.
Social media has changed the game, especially for this industry. How has it impacted your business, and how do you guys utilize it?
I'll let Pierre touch on that. He's our social media guy.
So with social media, like for me personally, I leverage social media as much as I could, monetizing and things like that. So pretty much I transitioned my knowledge over into that. And then, it comes into how do you balance trending and staying on brand and still be able to inform people, because his main thing is like, make sure we inform. And I agree with that, because it could just go into you're just posting trending stuff, and then what is that doing? Is it creating any type of conversion? And we even noticed recently, because we started looking into it, the more we post on brand, trending combination, we started getting a little bit more leads coming in, and so far we've only been 3 months now, so we're going to continue on with that.
you go to the extreme?
Because I believe it's important to be one with your business. I mean, if you really believe in your business, why wouldn't you? You know, a lot of people say, like, for a man, like, you know, your work on this earth is like your legacy. It's what you are. And so aside from family stuff, there's very little else that I care about other than my business and my work. And I think it's important that people understand that and they know that. I think it's important when you're leading a team that they understand that and they know that. And I believe that anything that you venture to do should be like that. So if you're an athlete, if you're a doctor, a nurse, a dentist, you should be one with what you do. If you're not, then I don't know how you can be passionate about that. I just think that in order to be successful, you need to be all in. And I hate dealing with people that are not all in because it shows in their work. And I think you get mediocre results when you're dealing with people who are giving mediocre effort in whatever it is they do. And so that's, for me, it's not tolerable. And that's not what Forever Young is about. That's not the kind of company we're trying to create, you know. And lastly, we have franchisees now. And so now a lot of that is not because we have to do that to be successful. It's because we have to do that to provide best practices to the people who are following our lead and want to get into this industry. And we want to do it right and show them the right way to do it. So.
Nice, yeah, and I agree. You got to be all in.
Everything would get dull
Yeah.
if you're not continuing education, in my opinion. When I have a day where I'm doing a content day, that's what I'm doing. You know, I'm looking up new videos. I'm watching my Patreon. I'm digging on, you know, who released a course. Those things are important. And it connects you to the community, the injector community, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. And Instagram definitely has helped so many people in this industry. So I'm glad that it's working for you guys and you guys found out the algorithm for sure.
Working on it.
Yeah. It's always a work in progress,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the trend is upwards for sure.
How do you keep like the positive environment with your team? I know so many people struggle with that. They bring on a lot of people and it starts off great and then it's like the environment is not there and people can feel that. How do you guys keep that within the company?
I wouldn't say we haven't had an issue with keeping a positive environment yet, because from the get-go when we started interviewing, we had both had the same idea of like bringing on people who would fit, even if they may bring a certain quality or like overqualified, and we meet them in person and it just wasn't a fit. We wouldn't want to bring them on because we don't want to interrupt that environment, because I'm pretty sure anybody who walks in, they can feel that type of energy if something doesn't mesh well together.
Yeah. One of the biggest things that we notice is that we need to meet these people in person before, because like someone can look good on paper or even a Zoom interview, you don't get the full picture, but having them really come in, we get to notice or, you know, get to really see who they really are has really helped us, you know, kind of narrow down the right type of person that we want to have here. And having those types of people that fit well with us and our vision is what helps create and keep that positive environment, like you mentioned.
Yeah, and I'm really honestly glad you said that, because I get so many candidates that their resume obviously doesn't look that good, but they are really great candidates that can really build businesses. And I try to tell a lot of business owners that it's not just the resume, but it's a resume and really who that person is.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
what they can bring definitely to the table, for sure.
And great talent, the same things that we just talked about. I mean, you want somebody that's passionate about being successful. If they're in administration, I mean, that success may look different than the medical side, but we want them to be passionate. But honestly, we want to share values. You know, we're looking for people that are going to be loyal, that are going to be dedicated to the brand, that are going to reciprocate the support that we give them and pour into them as well. And so we try to treat our staff and the people that work with Forever Young extremely well. We offer higher than usual benefits. No one in our offices makes minimum wage or anything like that since inception, really. And we try to treat people well, but we want them to reciprocate that as well. It's a two-way street, and we want them to believe in what Forever Young is all about. And so really, I think we're just looking for bright, passionate people who are professional at their expertise and who also want to participate in this lifestyle, work in a place where they can have some fun, we work hard when it's time to be serious, but also have some fun and be rewarded for it. So I think in a nutshell, that's what we're looking for, but it always helps when someone is all in. I think when they're all in, they're going to get all in from us, and I think everyone's the better for it. So
nice, and I agree. They have to be committed to the company, and when they're committed to the company, you think of new ideas, become greater. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
I worked there for 6 years, and I will tell you the culture. The culture when I first, back in 2008, which might be like less of the case now, was a lot of the dermatologists and plastic surgeons were really territorial. They were upset that dermatologists and plastic surgeons were wanting to get into their field to do this as well. And they were really territorial. They spoke out a lot about it, and that made it really difficult.
So tell me a little bit about if for all the entrepreneurs that are watching right now, right, and they're trying to enter this industry, what advice could you give them?
Ooh. Resilience.
Yes,
I'll say resilience.
Literally, that is that's the correct word. You have to. We both underestimated how much work this is going to be, but look, we're still here. We're still standing. I wouldn't say we're just average, everyday, normal Joe people, but we're pretty ambitious already. But still with that, I mean, there was so much work that's gone into this. I mean, we just opened a few months ago, and we've been working on this for over a year and a half. That's still pretty quick to build a brick and mortar business, I would say. But yeah, with resilience, like you said, when things get tough, you just have to keep pushing and know that you're going to come out on the other end stronger.
For sure. Well, thank you guys so much for sitting down with me and talking more about your business. Tell everybody where they can find you and where they can come, their address and things of that nature.
Okay. All right. So you can find us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. It's profile.aw. Our website is profileawmedspa.com. And the address here is 2288 Wilton Drive, Wilton Manors.
So I think, I like seeing you grow. Since we met, I think what you're doing is really good. And I think consolidating the industry and being a part of that is a great thing. And I think it's going to take you far too. And I think, people need to kind of wisen up to that. I think you probably, I could be wrong, experience some of the same things that maybe I've experienced coming into this industry, especially as someone that doesn't look like this industry. And I think a lot of people sleep on that, which can be to your advantage because, I know we've done several deals with you, and I think, I think that's the route to go. I think, talent plays a big part in the industry, and if someone can consolidate that talent, and I think there's a difference between consolidating the talent and actually building relationships and being all in, with different providers. I think that's what's going to set you and others apart from these people who are just recruiting and placing. If you do it right and take the time to do it and form relationships and do it the right way, I think you're going to do good things. So
amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me. Tell me a lot about your business, how you guys overcame adversity, and the other side. But until next time, goodbye.